It's that time of year again. Google Pixel Fold 2 rumors abound. Renders are leaked on Twitter, and it would appear that Google is going to do what only Google can, and that is change what I thought was a successful design to something else after 1 year and get no traction across the board. And it really is amazing. I'm not going to go off the walls just yet, because they are renders, and as we saw last year with the renders for the Pixel Fold, things can change. Aspect ratios, things might look a little different in person than they did on a computer render that you're seeing on Twitter. But it would seem, and this is kind of consistent with the rumors we got a couple months ago, it would seem that Google is moving away from this just wide, compact, squat design to something that looks a little bit more like a traditional, bigger fold. And it almost looks to me, with the exception of that camera hump in the back, that square kind of odd camera hump in the back, that it looks like a OnePlus Open. Really, it looks like the proportions of a OnePlus Open. It looks like it might be a slightly wider display than a OnePlus Open, but the same idea, kind of the same internal aspect ratio that a Z Fold 6 might have, or something else, where they're kind of getting away from the landscape-heavy orientation of the inner display and moving to something that we've kind of gotten used to as a traditional fold. Now, that to me is where they really go off the rails. And like I just said, Google has a habit of changing designs, getting rid of products, things like that. But they have a recent example of why that's not a good idea. The Pixel 3, the Pixel 4, the Pixel 5, the Pixel 6, changing every year didn't work. It took them taking the Pixel 6, saying, you know what, we're going to refine that design a little bit. Pixel 7 Pro, amazing, really good device. Then they refined it a little bit further. Gave us the Pixel 8 Pro, which, if you're honest with yourself, if you're being objective, if you've used it in comparison with other devices, is one of the better devices of last year. The Pixel 8 Pro is really good, probably the best Pixel they've ever produced. And they've produced some pretty good phones, but the Pixel 8 Pro is a really, really, really good phone. So that's why, with such a successful model already in place from just the end of last year, why they would kind of go back to the playbook that really didn't work for them, and that's changing up stuff. And especially since I never thought, it seems like they're working on the hardware changes for the Pixel Fold 2. The hardware was never the problem on the Pixel Fold. This hardware is some of the best hardware we had seen on a Fold up to that point. It was some of the best hardware that Google had put out up to that point. So it seems odd that that's the area that they would focus in, when the problem for me on the Pixel Fold is, and it was at the time, and still is, how they handled the inner display, how they handled the software experience on the inside of the device. There was a tremendous opportunity here to give us Microsoft Surface Duo-esque software, where you could have that landscape orientation. You could have nice two wide apps on either side with nice big screens, and you can have full experiences on either side in two apps, and swipe up individually from apps, and go ahead and have the entire UI shift over so you could then switch to another app and have that pop up. So many possibilities of things they could do. But we had to pull teeth just to get the kind of good lock-like solution to stretch stuff to the entire display. We're still waiting on things like app pairs to be easier and stuff like that. So the basics of tablet multitasking, and by translation, also foldable multitasking, really kind of missed them. They didn't really get that right. So to go ahead and change it to where I think this outer display was universally accepted, universally liked. So many people told me that they get through their entire day and then some, and they never even felt the need to open up the Pixel Fold to go to the inner display because the outer display was that fantastic. Now, that disturbed me to no end. That bothered me to no end, because I'm like, well, why are you buying a Fold if it's just the outer display? Give me a reason to open it up. And they could have done that without just kind of going wholesale to a OnePlus Open or a Galaxy Fold type design. Even if it's just incremental, if they're kind of creeping towards it, I don't really see the benefit there. If they had just taken the time to improve this design, to work on the software for this design, and kind of take advantage of this beautiful kind of landscape experience that they have here, I think they would have had a winner on their hands, like they did with the Pixel 8 Pro. So if you're a Google Pixel Fold fan, if you're somebody who enjoyed the first one, let me know in the comment section what your thoughts are looking at these renders. We'll put them up so that way you kind of know what we're talking about here. But give me your idea of what you think is the deal here. Are you happy that they're kind of reducing the size of the outer display? Are you happy that they're kind of tweaking the aspect ratio of the internal display? Because to me, those were the differentiating factors. They were the reasons why you'd buy a Pixel Fold, right? You weren't sitting there getting the same old foldable experience. You were getting something a little extra. If Google had locked in the software, locked in the price, there was a lot to like about the original Pixel Fold. And with them kind of learning from that, getting the theoretical Tensor 4 on board, ready to go for the Pixel Fold 2, so that way you're kind of not running on last year's processor. You're kind of up to date, all the rest of it. If they had done that, I think they would have had a nice little winner on their hands. Now it's another, throwing it up in the air. We're rolling the dice, see what happens here. Will people accept it? Will it work well? Will it work well with the software? Will the aspect ratio lock solution work well on it that we came up with? How will multitasking work on it? These are all question marks, again, when they had a product that they could have taken, tweaked, and then not had that many question marks. That's kind of where I land. You had something that, from the outside, worked pretty well. Beautiful design, beautiful hardware. I would have liked the hinge to kind of close open flat. That would be good. And people complained about the bezels and the screen being too reflective. Those are all things they could work on. But that's the point. When you take a design and you refresh it, you refine it, those are the things that get fixed. Like they did on the Pixel 8 Pro. The sharp edges, the things that people complained about, the frosted glass, little things, not major things, little things that add up to affect the user experience. That's what you get when you do these kind of iterative things. So Google had a chance on a second-generation Pixel Fold to really take a few of the things that were bothering people, put them in a package, fix them up, and then say, here you go. Here is a $14.99 foldable solution with wonderful multitasking, a beautiful landscape experience on the internal display with the best outer display shipping currently on a large form foldable. Period. Ended. They could have ended the conversation with that. So I don't know why you'd go back to the drawing board and try again. That's really kind of where I'm landing here and where I'm confused by it. Like I said, Tensor's great. Love that they're putting a Tensor 4 in there because a lot of people felt like they were getting cheated by only the Tensor 2 in the Pixel Fold, the original Pixel Fold. So they kind of learned from that mistake. Google, if anything, Google over the last few years has gotten better about learning from mistakes. Listening to people. Hey, we talked about screen brightness on the Pixels for I don't know how many years. They were dull. They were dim. All the rest of it. What did we get on the Pixel 8 Pro? Super Actua, 2600 nits. Really great display. Bright. Right now, we'll do another video, or we either did it yesterday or it's going to be tomorrow's video on the screen kind of resolution on the S24 Ultra. But at the time, nice display, vibrant display, great display. A lot to like about that phone. So they did that by taking the things that people had complained about and working on them. So there wasn't that much here to work on. Software-wise, yes. But hardware-wise, I thought their first swing was pretty darn good. And I know a lot of people agree with me because a lot of people said, they love their Pixel Fold. They don't even open up their Pixel Fold because the outer display is that darn good. So what do you think about them changing that to make it a little bit smaller? Interesting. We'll talk about it. If you made it this far, like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Until next time, have that Steve-licious day.